President Joe Biden has come out and said that the India, Middle East, European corridor is the reason for the Hamas bombing of Israel. It's a little difficult to accept that that was the sole reason, but it might have been one of the reasons. And another reason now that is coming up is this latest thing about 8 ex-Navy officers, 4 of them are commanders as a matter of fact, have been handed down the death penalty. Why such a harsh sentence? And what are the options? I'm going to talk about all these things. And also the most important thing, before that, I'm also going to talk about why the Israelis are still waiting for a ground invasion. Well, here is the easiest part. People are saying that they can flood the tunnels or they can pass nerve gas through the tunnels to completely, stun them for 6 to 12 hours and then take over the tunnels. There's a third option, and it appears that the Israeli defense forces are trying to do that. And what is that? That is that you don't need to do anything. You just make sure that Hamas does not get its hands on oil. Why is oil such an important thing? Not just for moving troops around, but also they need that oil for their generators, which are needed to keep all these tunnels hospitable. And if you don't have oil for the generators, then there is no air left in the tunnels, which will force everyone to come out. Now, what the IDF has accused the Hamas of doing is that they said that whatever UN had obtained for basic supplies, the Hamas has stolen them. So now they have stopped sending any kind of oil into Gaza from the southern border, which is why the UN is jumping up and down saying that we need to have this thing. See, there is active disinformation also going on, guys. And again, IDF had showed a series of tanker pictures saying that no, they have a lot of oil. You have to wait and see when, like ants trickling out of an anthill, the people are going to start coming out of these tunnels. Because eventually the oil will run out of Hamas, and then you will see that they will be forced to come out. And before that, they'll make a lot of noise, including in the United States Congress. A lot of noise is being made. UN is making its own share of noises. Everybody is hoping that things won't come to that. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Now, let's get back to the incident about what happened. Why the death penalty for 8 Indian ex-Navy officers? So I'm going to give you a quick backdrop on this. They were all working for a consulting company called 𝗟𝙗𝘍, and they were doing submarine related work. They were accused of doing favors for Israel while they were doing this work, and which is why they were tried in a lower court and they have been sentenced to death. This has been going on for some time, and as of today, this company is completely wound down because all the employees of this company were of Indian origin, so that's completely wound down. So what exactly happened? Now, these are the people who are, who have been handed down the death sentence. Captain Navtej Singh Gill, Captain Saurabh Vasisht, Commander Purnendu Tiwari, Captain Birendra Kumar Verma, Commander Sugunakar Pakala, Commander Sanjeev Gupta, Commander Amit Nagpal, and Sailor Ragesh. They were working for this company called 𝗤𝙗𝘍 Global in their personal capacity to oversee the induction of the Italian U-212 stealth submarines in the Qatari Emiri Naval Force. So the task was very specific, it looks like, to help the Qataris induct this stealth submarines of Italian make into their navy. Now, so this is where things stand. Well, people are saying that, oh, I hope something bad doesn't happen over the weekend. I personally don't think that's going to happen, because in 2015, India and Qatar signed an agreement. And I'm going to tell you what that agreement is, but isn't it better if we hear it from a very decorated naval admiral, former chief of Indian Navy, Admiral Arun Prakash. He was the Navy chief when 1971 war happened, and he was the one who blockaded the port of Karachi very effectively. India lost one submarine, but it essentially demolished the Karachi port, including setting all their petrol storage on fire. I mean, this was a decisive moment. I've told this before. 72 hours after the Pakistanis attacked India on the Western Front, the war was effectively over on the West Coast. It was just a matter of clean and mop up on the west coast, and in the east, in 16 days, they completely surrendered. So we know that story. What Admiral Arun Prakash is saying is that under a 2015 agreement signed between India and Qatar, convicted individuals can be repatriated to serve out the sentence at home. But there are some conditions. The sentence of the Indian Navy veterans must be commuted or a pardon obtained, and this agreement invoked in order to spare their lives. So a couple of things have to happen before this method can be used. One is that the emir has to pardon their lives. And it is believed that he does it usually during Ramadan and also another Eid days. But most important thing is that what really happened? Why are they being accused of this? What kind of proof needed to be submitted? What kind of proof did the Qatari intelligence have? And more importantly, who runs Qatari intelligence? Why would Israel want to go through some ex-Indian Navy personnel, all of whom seem to be very senior, except for the sailor, to get information? This is an Italian submarine. They should be able to get it from, basically talking to Italy or getting one of those themselves. So I'm not very, very sure about the accusations, what kind of proof was supplied. But what it is now we are at a point where they have been sentenced to death, and we have to wait and see what happens next. Is it a direct reaction of Qatari's displeasure at India taking Israel's side? And this is an act of terror, Hamas act of terror. If Qatar is supporting Hamas, then they are supporting terror. Well, we know this from before. We have had so many sessions where we have told about Qatar being a sponsor of terror. So whatever happens, we have to just wait and see. I'm hoping and praying that this will be commuted and that they will come back to India. They may have to serve some years of sentence. Again, all this is predicated on the proof that the court has relied upon for passing the judgment. And that has not been released yet. Maybe we should take a look at the judgment whenever that comes out and then prepare their appeal, go to the next higher court. This is the lower court. It's not the highest court of Qatar. So things are going to take some more time. Let's wait and see how this plays out. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.